Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. The weekend is upon us. I hope it's going to be awesome for you. So today what I got going on is, behind you here, you'll see this giant, vigorous chocolate mint. Well, I initially stole it from a tiny bonnie plant that I basically cloned or what have you, propagated via just leaning it over into the soil, having wherever the stem came in contact with the soil, mint plants send out root shoots. Now, I messed up and the mother plant totally died and is not, this is the root ball from it, it's totally dead and rot. And it did not live like I had hoped. So what I have to do now in order to spread this is do the same thing but in reverse. So now, the goal to propagate mint is just to get the plant in contact with the ground and then water it, because it will then send out root shoots, and once it takes over I can come back and snip it here, and then this tiny little remainder will have its own root system, be independent energy wise, and become its own person. That's exactly how I started this giant tub of mint. So what I am going to do is set it here. I've got a pot propped up on a rock so it's about the right height for this shoot to be bent down. Then what I'm going to do is, I got a light rock for its size so it's not going to damage the plant, but I'm just going to pin it down right here so that it makes good contact with the soil, isn't crushed, and also doesn't snap it off here where it bends over the pot. Now I'm just going to keep it watered for the next few days, and in a week or maybe two, this will be its own person, and I can continue spreading and spreading mint, and eventually I want a whole field of this stuff. One of the things that's been really successful over the past month that I've had kind of a side project going is a hospital creation, or like an ICU for my plants. So I personally have a problem with making the plants live through the transplant phase. Like if you look in that mini greenhouse there, it's just overgrown with plants that have never made it outside their pot. They're root bound, they're way behind. So I just I got a quad splitter because I kept on adding Ys to Ys to Ys. And I just have two main lines coming over here to buckets or plants that need help. This one was totally dead a week ago. This one had only a couple leaves. They're all crispy yellow and dying. And this catnip barely was alive at all. And so I've made it a point every morning when I come in here in the nursery to plan, I turn the water on for a little bit to give it a decent soak. And it's been working wonders. If I can eventually get this sort of system set up in the field, I can just have amazing plants growing all the time, but I kind of need to baby them right now because I'm still learning. I think the one that I'm most proud of, because it was totally dead, is this Amaranth right here. It started from seed in the mini greenhouse, put outside, and then pretty much killed it. It just had this one tiny little head that was so dead it just bent over, and then it broke what's called the apical dominance of the plant. There was no longer a tip like this to grow, and so it bent over and then created a bunch of main tips, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. It reminds me of what they call a pendulous type, which grows, gets heavy, and then drops over to the side and then spreads that way. It has really beautiful colors. It's 100% edible, every part of the plant, the flower, the seeds, the leaves, the stems, and the root ball. It's also can grow 4 feet tall and spread like crazy. It's beautiful, and I'm going to be planting it for that reason. The mysterious succulent is totally having a sort of, I forget the word for it. It's not parasitical, it's a symbiotic relationship. This is low grown with a shallow root system. Since I put over here in the medicine area, the diameter of the leaves has quadrupled. It's gotten huge and lush. It's just providing a ton of seed now. I should probably wrap it in some sort of a screen to capture them, but I mean, honestly, if I can just get it to spread everywhere, see all those little black dots, those are all the seeds. if I can get it to spread everywhere, I won't have to worry about it, and I can just get as many seeds as I want in the future. Here's one of the sage transplant rescues from Lowe's. At first glance, it's like, oh no, it didn't make it. It's totally dead, you know, compared to like that guy right there. But if we look a little closer, it's time for me to say how resilient plants are again. We'll see that tiny little green growth there. I know it's hard to focus. See that? It's still alive. And so I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. Eventually it will bounce back because plants are amazingly resilient. I came back with a mini toothbrush and went underneath the drip line to clean up the mineral buildup on some of the emitters right here in the center. A lot of it was clogged, and my time wasn't doing very good. Well, after I cleaned it all, look at this. The chives just completely bounced back, and they're sending up their flower shoots. I got tons of new growth here on the thyme. And then, look at this. A chive has already opened up and started flowering. And that's right here. And something funny I just noticed is volunteer tomato. Look at this little guy. Right in the middle of an onion patch. Whatever. If I get one tomato, I'm going to laugh so hard. Look at this little guy. I will live. The strawberry patch over here by the herbs is doing incredibly. My daughter was able to roll in here this morning and she picked, I think all of the red ones that we were able to find. This one's not quite ready yet. But yeah, so these are finally seeking down to get enough moisture and nutrients that all of these are spreading. I've been on a daily basis coming in and watering them because I've noticed a direct response to, you know, plants like to be watered in the 104-degree summer. And it's just going to take over this patch like my plan was. And next summer, I'm going to have this full thing full of strawberries and make a strawberry pie or something. It's going to be awesome.